Welcome to our Wednesday devotional. So all of you know the name Matthew McConaughey. He's a movie star and a really popular guy. You might see him doing advertisements for Lincolns on television these days. A few years ago, People magazine named him the sexiest man alive as opposed to the sexiest dead man. Well, you may know him. You may know his brother. He has a brother named Rooster. I think it's a nickname. I sure hope so. You don't get to pick your nickname. Somebody gives it to you. Maybe he looks like a rooster. I don't know. When I was in high school, I had a nickname, Wormy. That's a bad nickname. It's what you get when you're 6 feet tall and you weigh 140 pounds. My sideburns weighed 10. And so I'd rather have been called Q-tip than Wormy. But anyway, you don't get to pick your nickname. Somebody gives it to you. Well, Rooster's been in the news over the years. He's had some popular reality TV shows. I'm proud to say I haven't watched any of those shows. I'm not going to, I don't think. But he's also been in the news because a few years ago they had a son, and he named his son Miller Lite. You heard me right, Miller Lite. It's that second reason that's got me talking to myself. Dude, what are you thinking about? What were you thinking when you named your son Miller Lite? He named his son after his favorite beer. I'm glad his favorite beer is not Pabst Blue Ribbon, or in this time of virus, Corona. That'd be a bad name for your son, or Michelob, or Heineken. You could shorten that, I guess, to Heine, but that's not so good either. Anyway, I pity the little boy's name, Miller Lite. Names are important, you know, they're really important. A few years ago, when the royal couple, William and Kate, had their child, a little boy, they named their child George. The odds makers were placing bets on, like Elvis was 500 to 1, Rumpelstiltskin was 500 to 1. They chose George, and I guess that has a royal name, especially in England. You know, it's a good name. There's been some successful people with the name George. You ever heard of Babe Ruth? Yeah. George Herman Ruth, the Babe. Lots of George Washington. He did pretty well for himself, I think. And then, of course, George Herbert Walker Bush did very well. So a lot of people with that name have done well. And so that's a name you could certainly live up to. I was hoping they would have chosen Steve instead of George. My name means crowned one, implying royalty. It would have been a great name for their son. By the way, I walk around the house wearing a crown, but I took it off for this video. In Bible days, names really meant something, and everybody, I think, knew what their name meant. And so they would either live up to it or down to it. In today's culture, most of us don't really know what our name means, and we don't really care. We get names because they sound pretty, or it's a family name, or something like that. What if you had to grow up with a name Miller Lite? Maybe the kid will hate the name so much that he will become a teetotaler, but I doubt it. His name will become his favorite beer, I'm sure. He'll live up to the expectations set by his dad. Those of us who call ourselves Christians have a name to live up to. It wasn't given to us by others. No, we chose it. When we got baptized and came up out of that water, we said to the world, call me Christian. I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. Now that's a tough name. A lot of expectations with that name. We should live our lives every day to the best that we can, the way Jesus lived his life. We should ask that question. What would Jesus do? I'm afraid that a lot of Christians aren't taking their faith very seriously. It's a name only. They're not really trying to live up to the greatness of that name. Unfortunately, I think Miller Lite will be a name that's kind of easy to live down to, pardon the grammar. The writer of Proverbs says, a good name is to be desired more than riches. A good name. Rooster, not good. Miller Lite, not good. George and Steve, good names.